So now we're here at The Longest Memory, Chapter 4, Cook. And this is the shortest chapter in the book. It's just 2 pages, page 54 and 55. And this is the first chapter narrated from the perspective of Whitechapel's second wife. She's never named. So as with previous studies, books that we've studied, we know that when a character is left unnamed deliberately by the author, that is often to indicate their lack of power or lack of agency and their relative insignificance in the views of the society of the time. And this would definitely be the case here. As a character, Cook has no power to determine her own fate. Ultimately, she dies at a very young age because she's denied medical intervention when she has a fever. So this chapter begins with her contemplating suicide after the rape. So immediately after we read of the rape and the abuse in the previous chapter, that is contrasted with the voice of Cook in this chapter. And so we see her wanting to commit suicide, but Whitechapel saved her. He saved her life. So she confesses, I had to tell someone or surely die. And then Whitechapel, respected by his master, is no ordinary man. He's an extraordinary man. My Whitechapel, this possessiveness shows her love. Got that hound of an overseer fined. He made him apologize and made sure it never reoccurred, got him married. All done by my Whitechapel. So she's thanking Whitechapel and then thinks back to when Whitechapel first started courting her. She didn't invite his attentions. She didn't feel so loving. She thought he was an old man and she said, no, go away. I'll introduce you to my mother. Anything rude I can think of, but he kept persevering. Okay. And then she recognizes, though, I was wrong. He can love. He proves he loves me every day. He treats my firstborn as his own. So they made a promise never again to speak about Mr. Sanders, and he meant it. He's never said a word, never slipped up. My Whitechapel, she keeps calling him that, is twice the gentleman. Whitechapel is my life. She has these dreams that she will bear him many sons. He promised to defend my honor. Only death could divide us. Now she imagines that she will live after him and she will have those many sons of his sons. This chapter is sad for the reader because we know that she dies before Whitechapel and before her own son even. Right at the end, I will bear him many sons. He will die happy. I will grow old with my sons alone. So she's got this optimistic tone, this trusting tone. Because of her faith in Whitechapel, her husband, she believes that everything will be okay. And again, that's part of the reason for that sadness that we have is because we know that it didn't end up like that for her. So the contrast here between Whitechapel, who is so kind, so considerate, so trustworthy, so gentle, it's compared with how brutal Mr. Sanders Sr. is, which we read about in the previous chapter. So that's basically all for this chapter. Hopefully you've got some notes there that you can put into your table.